We should meet.
It's a perfect timing. Hey everyone. God. So yeah, so welcome to our Google Hangout. This is One Spit 360. I am here on according to my screen going from left to right with Anthony from the Sustainable Center, Nick from Long Island Wargaming, and Tyler from TNT Wargaming. In that order, why don't you guys say hi and anything else?
Hey.
Hi. It's good to be back. Hi, I'm really excited to be with these guys again, and hopefully this isn't as useless as we think it might be.
Well, it's funny because right as we started, Anthony's phone goes off, and every time he does a video, he's like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe it? Somebody called me."
Look how incredibly popular I am all the time. Whenever I try and do a video.
The phone only rings 80 times a day. I can't believe it rang right now. God.
Doing a video about how you don't sell on eBay anymore, and eBay keeps going off.
Bing. I don't sell that much anymore. Trust me.
Yeah. So so the purpose of our video hangout tonight, and one, we're hoping that this is the first of many Google Hangouts together. We are 4 YouTube channels that in the past were devoted to Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th Edition, and in that we've had Google Hangouts before, and when Age of Sigmar came out, all of us, in one way or another, decreased our activity on YouTube. And now with the 9th Age out, we're kind of all on that. So we thought, well, why don't we get together and see, what are some ways that we can... Thanks for typing, Anthony. Just you can hear that over me.
Make sure the mic's closer to the keyboard next time.
Look how popular I am.
Secrets. You know what you're getting when you bring me here.
I'm so popular. I have to respond to an email right now. Anyway, so we thought we'd get together and say what are some things we can do with 9th Age that might be fun across the YouTube channels. And we're not trying to be exclusive. If there are other YouTube channels out there that want to get in, we're game for it, whatever. So
unless you're more popular than us.
Yeah. If you're too cool.
Yeah, we can't.
So we're going to start off talking about that. We're just brainstorming together ideas, things we can do across the channels to interact more with each other with our wargaming. And then we want to go to a second topic, and that is what are things we can do to help bring new players into the 9th Age. So let's start with the first. What are things we can do? I've thrown a couple ideas online, and so tell you what, I'll start off by not starting off. And anybody who has any ideas, you certainly can steal anything that's been talked about on the forum, or you can share any other ideas you have.
RA book reviews.
I like Army book reviews. The trouble, not the trouble with it, because I really enjoyed the one we did.
I'm being proactive.
What are you doing?
I'm cleaning whiteboards like whiteboards.
He's touching himself.
Yes, in this unique motion. See, whiteboard.
All right.
Okay, so
are you going to use that? Why are you cleaning it now?
So I can write on it.
All right.
So I like the Army book reviews. Just the one thing that we have to keep in mind is these books. I mean, we're right in the middle of beta. Every week there are changes being insisted upon by the balance board and the rules team, and then changes being instigated by the Army books themselves. So I like the idea, and we should do it. But we just have to keep in mind that things change.
Well, I don't think that's a problem. That's just more content.
That's a video in itself, highlighting the changes.
Right. I mean, if we're going for quantity.
That's cool.
Not quality. That's not us. We're all about more. As well as Army book reviews, it could be interesting to go over some common builds that are showing up.
Do we really know what they are, though?
Well, we're waiting for tournaments to still come out, but
I have a quick idea to throw in. How about standardizing how we do Army book reviews? We can all review the same book if we want to, but if we go through the same order of how we do things, maybe go for the same length of time, you're going to get some different opinions, but some people review books differently. I mean, now the books are very straightforward, where there's no fluff, there's no BS, you're not going back and forth. But I mean, what do you guys think of that?
Oh, so I was kind of assuming. Yeah, that's a good point. So you're saying we could do Army book reviews individually, but choose the same book, and we all do it in a certain time scale.
Right. I mean, no one, one of us can't stop the other one from each doing the Bretonnian review. But at least if we come up with a standard way of doing things, because I always, we'll watch Anthony's, and it's usually very informative, a bit comical. But if I go ahead and watch someone else's, it might be 4 times as long, have the same content.
Well, everyone
you're dealing with me, will be 4 times long.
Everyone has a unique style, so you can't lock people into you're going to spend X amount of time talking about Y amount of things. I mean, if I think a unit's trash, it takes me 2 seconds to talk about it. If I think a unit's really good, that could be a 15-minute conversation over all the different applications that unit has. And we're going to have varying opinions on what each unit can potentially do. So, I mean, you could generalize it and say, you're going to hit the magic, and then you're going to hit the units.
Maybe that's what I'm getting at. If you want to do army rules, magic, then units, and then because sometimes people will do magic as a separate video, or go back and forth. I mean, it could just be 5 bullet points of how we all want to review the books.
I'm cool with that. I mean, I think even if we just chose one and said we're all going to do this one, and let's try to keep it to less than an hour, Anthony.
Good luck.
And it seems like an easy format. I mean, I guess my assumption is that the format would just be to go through the army book, like section by section.
Well, do you want to touch on the magic or not? Because like the Kingdom of Aquitaine has a couple of lores, and then if you touch Empire has every lore.
We should cover magic in its own separate videos.
Yeah.
But then, if we agree that if
Paths of Magic video,
any of us do a review, magic is left for a second video.
Well, you don't have to if we talk about the 8 main lores, and then if the whatever book we look at, so Chaos Warriors, whatever, it's got its own couple lores we can look at. You can include them in that.
When you review a book, there might be a lore or two that cater to that army book, in which you want to discuss it at some point.
Okay, so let's say army book reviews, and we kind of try to follow a similar format so that they're somewhat comparable.
So we all have to get drunk and angry to be like Anthony?
Yes.
Pretty sober during my army book reviews, actually. That's how I remember to record them.
Sure.
All right, what else besides army book reviews?
Well, I know we toyed with the idea of what generated a lot of buzz last time when you guys did the Bretonnian campaign.
I think that's going to be really hard because we're all struggling to find people to play.
Okay.
I have maybe one person right now. Maybe. That's, I mean, once bitten, what do you have, 1 person, 2 people?
Yeah, right now it seems like I'm just playing 2. We'll talk about that too, how we could get more people. I think the problem with the Bretonnia campaign we did was it was weird, man, because you could influence it just by who you chose to play. Like, I'm not picking a Malorian. I'm just saying.
I'm Malorian.
I'm just saying it was ridiculous. He's like, well, this guy said he knew what he was doing, but he's never played the game before. And oh, hey, I won. Like, wait, good freaking job. And he's gonna watch this. Love you, Mal. Come play the right game. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's something to do there, but not just like what we did.
The books are also not finalized, so that's really going to muck with the campaign.
Yeah.
If the books aren't locked.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a.
It doesn't have to be points. It could be whose line is it anyway. We all do the same thing, but don't give a shit about
put our own twist on. If we do something like we all pick the same lore and we have to use the same lore, and who ends up making the best combo with that or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be that there's a winner.
Are you talking about the same armies, though, we're all going to play? Because we all don't have overlapping armies.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the same army. We could say we're all going to try lore of alchemy this time, Path of Alchemy, and see who can make the best synergy amongst it.
So common themes.
Yeah. Themes. Another idea, too, I mean, I threw this out there, is we could actually go through the end time scenarios where you try to find somebody where you play one side or the others. You know, so between you and whoever else can play, can you get 2 armies represented? And, you know, and we tweak the scenarios because they're kind of stupid right now, but we take the stupid things out of them.
Well, if your plan is to take a scenario and adapt it so it's not stupid, we could do something like get the community to propose a scenario that we have to play out. Put a poll on it or something on the website.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
'Cause that'll
Get
also
them every
pull-
once in a while.
That's another thing. I don't know if this was discussed yet, but how about pulling your existing subscriber bases to the Ninth Age forum? Do you find that a lot of your people, once bitten, are going from your videos and clicking over and hooking up there?
How could he know that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but certainly there are a lot of people that I see posting on the Ninth Age forum saying that they came there from my channel. So I don't.
So then he does,
Oh.
Tyler, asshole.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I guess when you have people that actually watch your videos, you can find.
well, somebody go subscribe to TNT Wargaming so we can not have to hear this.
Give him a pity sub. You don't have to go watch anything. Just
It's not much to look at, but it would
click
really
sub
make
and
me
then
feel
block the
better.
feed.
So what if in our videos we give people a reason to have to go to the website, at least so they know it's there, whether it's we're going to do this scenario or, you know, because there's that funky deployment, that flank attack. I mean, we can explain it in a video, but if you're like, go to the PDF and look at page 4, you could see the flank attack. Like, just generate interest, even from your 8th edition players.
I'm of the philosophy you need to get it to effortless, and if you entice people to have to take an additional step who are on the fence, they're not going to take that additional step. I mean, I think.
But that's the whole topic here, is getting people to.
That's
But
'cause
I
you're a
think there's
pessimist,
ways you can
Anthony.
put out content where people don't have to do anything beyond clicking on the video and observing it.
I'm not saying
And-
you can't go over those topics, but at least if you throw it in there once in a while, if you're gonna give everything to them through a video and tell them never to go to the website, then it's backwards.
Well, eventually they're going to have to go to the website if they have enough interest. I mean, we're not giving them the rule book. But I'm not going to force them to go to the website. If you want to know what the hell mission we're playing,
You
go
can't
to the
force
website and
anyone to
click
do
on the
anything.
scenario.
You can't force anyone to do anything. I'm just saying, throw it in there as an opportunity to maybe get someone to go there.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, where you say you can watch the video standalone, but if you want more depth on it, like if you want to understand the deployment in more detail, then go to page whatever.
Yeah, or if you want to have a say in what happens next. Like, if you enjoyed this game, but you want to see me take on something else, you want to see me use one of my other armies or their particular list, go over there, make a post on my blog, and whichever one gets the most likes, I'll do that as my next battle.
I like when people give me a list to play. I really like that. Give me a list.
Because you're lazy.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're always insane lists. Like, put 200 peasants down. I'm like, I don't have them.
That's
Never
awesome.
anything normal.
No, I like that. I just
Within
played-
reason, yeah.
But that idea works the best right now since we're in a playtesting mode. Even if it isn't just regular subscribers, you get people within the Ninth Age forums that say we need to see this unit perform over the next couple of weeks or days to see if we can make this decision finalized. We could stick with our battle reports going to whatever they need.
Yeah, so we need to get someplace on the forums to where we can have interaction with the community, where we say, here's a poll for what armies we should play or what scenarios we should do, or here's a place where you can post scenarios or you can post army lists for us to use. And right now the forum's set up army by army, so maybe under the general forums we could do something like that.
Like a battle report, a video
Maybe
battle
some
report forum.
Yeah, and you can have best battles. We can have people vote for the best battles, and it's not who wins or loses, just which battle was kind of the most fun. I mean, if we want to have competition in there.
Sure.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot, actually. I like the idea, too, of us meeting on a regular basis, let's say once a month, where we just get together and just kind of review things, and then, talk about what's going on with us, what's going on with the Ninth Age, stuff like that. Just, and again, I don't think it has to be exclusive to us. If other YouTube channels are active with the Ninth Age and they want to join in, I don't care.
You know who we would recruit for that? Do you ever watch William Page? He did this
The weekly wrap-up I was thinking about.
Yeah, and I actually watched it a lot because he would take 7 days worth of battle reports and stick it in 2 minutes, and if you found something that you thought was interesting, you'd go there. So he'd hit up anything from Mordheim, Age of Sigmar, 8th edition, 9th edition, and you find what you're interested in, you go there. Where some people have time to go from every video and watch the whole damn thing. I'm not looking for that.
Is there a way to easily capture week-to-week changes in rules and stuff on the from the community, not the community, but from the board?
Yeah, it is. One, they make changes behind the scenes on a weekly basis, but they don't change the rule book that frequently. They just kind of keep them stored up because otherwise it would drive people crazy. And then so they'll make an announcement saying, okay, we're updating the rule book, and then all the changes will be in green, something like that.
Well, so every time we do a big update like that, then that's a perfect time to get us four together.
Yeah.
Or even in 2 pairs of 2 or whatever, but just kind of having important benchmarks in what's happening and cover them then.
Yeah. William Page's thing, I mean, not to pat myself in the back, that was my idea, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
I remember that from many years ago, and you said someone else was going to do it, and then it never happened.
Well, no, originally I was going to do it. Then I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. And he picked it up, and I think he realized it takes a lot of time. I don't know if he's even still doing it. I know that he does Age of Sigmar, which kind of breaks my heart. But I mean, right now, I don't know, because I like the idea of something like that. But really, I think most people who are doing Ninth Age battle reports, it's getting posted on the blogs on the Ninth Age website. So it's actually. It's almost not as necessary because there's one place where people go to now, whereas before there wasn't one place.
Are they written battle reports? I hate those. I'm sorry.
No, the blogs are people like when you post, if you were to post a battle report, and then if you want to promote it, you post it on the blog, and then
that's what Anthony's been doing already.
I know. I
don't think there's been a lot of other. There's one other person that's posting on YouTube his Sylvan of Empire Battle Reports.
Yeah, from the North. He's good.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him posting in a blog on Ninth Age.
If I go to the Ninth Age website and I look at other blogs or other, if I look at the forums of the battle reports, they're all going to be handwritten, right? That would be my assumption.
There's some. I mean, I don't know how many video battle reports there are out there.
The written ones, they have a format for that. So you have to follow the format, fill in the units, list everything in that order.
Yeah, those are not for entertainment. Those are for feedback.
Right.
Oh yeah, I see one here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I won't sit here and read this.
I won't.
I mean, maybe if I was at work, I would sit here and read this, but then I
think it's because as Americans, your reading skill isn't as high.
Or we just have any other better method of entertainment other than in Canada where there is no method of entertainment.
Hey, the 9 books that have made it above the border, they are amazing. I've read all of them.
That's awesome. All right, so we have what do we have so far? We have Army Book Reviews. We have meeting together monthly. We have
major content changes.
Covering major content changes, community interaction, like what scenarios can we play, what challenges can we do, where we all try to do this, like we all try to line up a certain kind of game and report on it. Anybody who posts Ninth Age battle reports and doesn't create a blog on the Ninth Age website is missing out on publicity, by the way.
You have to request a blog spot, just be aware. I don't know how much they're giving it out. Are they giving it out to anybody who asks for it?
Yeah, well, they is me. I mean, there's more than just me, but I mean that's one thing I do. Like, if you guys,
I requested mine. I got it approved in like 10 minutes, and then my first blog was approved within 20.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as long as someone's on there and they're seeing it's not bullshit.
Okay, I'm just asking how closed door they're making it.
Yeah,
but
no, it's not closed door at all. They're trying to get people like, hey, if you want to post about this, post. They just have to put an eyeball on it first.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Anthony,
well, has there been a lot of BS? Have you turned anything away yet, or flagged anything?
Wait, so you're doing this for this website, but you wouldn't do it for the Warhammer YouTubers website?
Yeah, good point. Am I still a moderator? I've never done a single thing.
You haven't, I know.
You know what? I didn't ask to be on there. Malorian just kind of assigned it to me, and I'm like, whatevs. And now it's all Age of Sigmar, so I could give a shit.
We'll make a new one, a better one with blackjack and hookers.
We'll call it Warhammer YouTuber.
Yeah, no, I do. But when you post a blog, like if your blog as a whole gets accepted, but every time you post a video, it doesn't go automatically up. You probably noticed it. It just kind of you submit it, and then somebody has to approve it. And I'm one of those people. But I can tell you behind the scenes, nobody's trying to be exclusive. They want more stuff up there. You know.
Okay.
It's content control.
Yeah, when I updated my last article, I didn't realize that it had to go for approval. So then I put another one through, and another one.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks.
Oops. Like, what the hell's wrong with this website?
It's not working.
What about unit conversion opportunities? So I know I had to make Durendal Knights, and someone asked on my video, "What'd you do?" And I don't think they're very impressive, but at least it's a concept and it's an idea. So I think there's a hole, maybe in almost every Army book. I'm not certain that there may not be a go-to GW model. And I know that was one of the big concerns my friend raised is like, well, what miniatures are people going to be using, And not that there's any form factor, but...
Isn't there already a spot on the site, though? For...
They have posted.
Can't hear you. Yeah, your mic's off. Yeah.
Way to go, Tyler. Way to screw it up again.
I thought my mic was off. All right.
Yeah, Tyler's been having audio troubles all night. So we're going to move on, Tyler, while you get that fixed. But it's not working right now.
They don't have enough power in Canada to keep the lights, the screen, and the mic running. He's got a toggle between with the switch.
I got the hand crank going.
There you go. There you go. Get the moose in the backyard, run around in circles.
But is it working?
Yes.
Yeah, it's working now.
Fucking okay, sweet.
Anthony, I think it's a fantastic idea. I haven't even got to that point yet, but I know that, like, for instance, I want to build some Longhorns with halberds, and do I buy Games Workshop Bestigor and just convert it somehow, or do I just go to another model, or what do I do? And same with their centaurs. The Centaur models I like them, but there's only a few poses, and that's going to get old if I get like 30 or 40 of them, which is kind of what I want.
And I think for spots where we don't have an idea, that's a great place to go to YouTube and be like, hey, what should I do?
Just because it's here, and if I don't say it now, I'll forget. I did see a good conversion for Centaur with Gore plus like the horses from the Chaos Knights.
Yeah, or the Chaos Marauders, I think, too.
Yeah, any combination of those two. They looked really good, but it looks like a lot of effort.
I have some of those actually. I think a subscriber sent them to me. They're beautiful. I love them. The thought of buying all those models to cut them in half and use half of each hurts the soul a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good idea. All right. Well, let's.
I guess one last thing just to throw out there is if we all do things separately on our channel, we can make a playlist that includes videos from any channel, and I think we should do that too. So if I've got a playlist of my battle reports, you have a playlist of your battle reports, we should have a playlist of everyone's battle reports. Because if you make a playlist on YouTube, it doesn't have to be your own videos.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just says add video, and then you copy and paste any YouTube URL.
Yeah, we should be definitely doing that.
So if we do Anthony's idea where it's like we're going to have a conversion, playlist, or like ideas of models, instead of having 4 different playlists on 4 different channels, we have, one channel will have a playlist for everything.
And it wouldn't matter what channel starts it because we're all on it with every.
Well, it also has to go on the blog, and I think it needs to be done. I don't think you want to make 4 competing playlists with identical videos in there. I think if you do one playlist and you set it up with the proper tags and you put the proper little widgets in there, it'll be a lot more successful than having 4 competing playlists. Because right now you got to think about if I go to YouTube.
But we wouldn't need 4 playlists.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. One person makes the playlist.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter whose channel makes it.
No, but I'm just saying we all don't have to do it. I think you pick one person who's going to do it.
So I think we make Nick do that.
Yep, good job, Nick. You volunteered yourself.
All right.
So if that's the case, though, make sure you either message me or email me your video, and I'll add it to the playlist.
Yep.
So here's my big thing right now. If I type in 9th Age, and I look at top videos on the first bar, I mean, we're coming up there. Some other guy came up with, Ninth Age Battle. Somebody else put up stuff too 2 months ago. NOLA Wargaming. I don't know who the hell that is.
It's Northern Louisiana. He's pretty.
So his 2 videos come up top, and then it's Once Bitten's on the Ninth Age rules, and then it's some of mine, and then some of his. So we got to make sure that we're tagging appropriately, so when this gets searched on YouTube, the things we want are gravitating towards that top. Because before, Warhammer Fantasy was an actual tag, or Warhammer whatever, because every time I uploaded a video, it just popped up and I would click on it.
Yeah.
So you might want to do a little bit of searching into, we don't want to keep calling this a different thing. So call it Ninth Age or call it whatever, and then kind of lock that in as your tagline for YouTube.
Yeah, I've been tagging it as the Ninth Age and then Ninth Age, and then I just throw in random stuff like gaming or wargaming or whatever.
Yeah, I do it in a whole bunch of different languages.
Seriously?
No.
No.
Pull out the Japanese keyboard.
Yeah. and French, because Canada. Yeah, so I have another idea that could go be useful for all of us, but it also has to do with getting new players involved. So I don't know if you want me to talk about it now or we can bring it up later.
Yeah, it's a good segue.
Okay, so I was on the phone with Digger614 today, and we're talking about the idea of having some sort of content for 8th edition players converting to 9th Age. So it could be things like making a series of videos of, for the 8th edition player, this is 9th Age. This is what the Magic Phase used to be. This is what the Magic Phase is now. These are the reasons why they changed it this way. It's basically showing that 9th Age is a more balanced game than 8th.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea of taking the rule book and not just presenting it as if somebody's never played any game before, but presenting it. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Thank you. But presenting it like these are the rules as compared to what they were in 8th edition, and I think that I like that idea a lot. That's what I need. Damn it! I mean, I keep on playing 8th edition rules, and I post a video, and people are like, "Oh, by the way, that changed," and I'm like, "Ah, I missed that."
I would just say we want to hold till they release version 1. That's
Okay.
a little bit. I mean, you don't want to do it and then they make a change to canons, Tyler, and then
I spent so much time on that.
nobody could understand what the hell your crappy whiteboard picture was.
I have to admit, I struggled to understand the whiteboard too. I got the first part of it, and then I got a little bit confused.
It looks like the run to a mad
I
scientist.
made this.
There's math on there, but it's not real math. It's like pretend math.
That's real math. That's probability. That's the value in the expected value calculation.
Okay.
Nerd.
So anyway, if you want to shoot a cannon at something, I think it's about 3.5 inches.
From the center, apparently. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Anthony. I think, and I think version 1 is going to come no later than March or April because of ETC deadlines. And
Well,
I
it
think
has to
that's
come
fine.
before Brawlers, right? I mean, they can't.
You could run the beta in Brawlers.
I don't think they're
There's
really
lots of
active-
tournaments that have been run with beta.
Yeah, tons. And I don't think Brawlers is driving a whole lot in the decision-making process.
If I'm gonna go, I'm not playing beta. I'm playing better fucking block.
I don't play no
Let me put it that way.
fucking beta games.
No beta games. I'm not gonna have 45 questing nights and then have them comped. God.
Yeah, those are the same questing nights that you're like, these guys suck. These totally suck.
And you agreed with me in that video. And then people were like, oh, you should just do this. I'm like, oh, wow.
You're so good. Oh
I
my
told you,
god.
like, we steal all of our ideas from smarter people and then just take credit for it with our popularity. And then
Yeah, popularity.
popularity, you know.
I got a lot of that.
I love how it has a like counter on the 9th Age forum.
Yeah.
But not a
keeping track of
dislike
points.
counter. That's unfortunate.
I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of articles so I have more points than Anthony.
Oh, we should have a points contest.
That's
Let's
not
go.
fair. You have an advantage.
God, yeah.
But no, that like counter is a good way to get the community to vote on things amongst us.
What do
So
you
if we all there's been like say we did a challenge video or whatever, and which of us won the challenge could be based on how many likes they get on the video or blog article or something.
Yeah, but they can have Anthony like doing a campaign for like, hey guys, go to Unite the Age and click like on my thing, and he's gonna run a campaign.
It's got like an auto dialer.
He's gonna pull a Donald Trump. Start paying.
It's
people
gonna be huge.
We should
Okay.
do a painting challenge.
Oh.
Uh,
Sure.
I don't
I'm
think
not gonna paint shit unless I'm challenged to paint
See,
something.
the best part about that is even if I lose, I came in 4th, and I can take 4th.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to paint anymore until I buy an airbrush. Vince
I
has me
just bought
convinced.
one. It's coming.
Did you?
I have the compressor here. I bought the Iwata one, the one Vince recommended.
You know, okay, so I make a prediction now. So pretty soon Anthony's videos are going to be paint-episodes where he's got his compressor running. And he's just kind of saying shit, and there's all this noise in the background.
That's not a prediction. That's a certainty. It'll still get 1,000 friggin' views. People are desperate. Like, that.
Yeah. People are hungry for this stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys, my videos in the past would get, 2,000 views, maybe 3,000 after a while, but now, man, with Night Age,
Totally. There was 3K.
You mean lifetime views or in one video? Oh, all right.
yeah. But anyway,
I like that I'm included in this. And we have the token Canadian.
I think it's dropped a couple hundred. I mean, I think if you look at a percentage of change, it's about 20 to 25% less, I would say, than what we were getting at the peak of 8th.
What? Oh, no, mine's way higher. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, the peak of 8th, think of your view count, and then think of your view count on something standard now. You don't think that there's been a drop?
Well, I don't, but I'm wrong all the time. Look it up.
Know that Once Bitten's got a bigger following on the Ninth Age forums than we do. So he could have an influx of people that had never seen his videos before.
Well, I'll put it
watching
this
them
way. I
because
think
they're now
mine's
on the
20-25% drop because I had a fall-off period where I wasn't putting up anything about, a Warhammer-related game. And
So I didn't put anything up for like 6 or 7 months, and then I put up a Ninth Age video, and the next day I got like 30 unsubscribes because I guess people I showed back up on people's feed, and they're like, no, I don't want this guy, and a huge drop the next day.
Yeah, my subscriber base dropped for the first time ever of the last few months until I started posting, and then because I was posting blogs in the Ninth Age, I think I was getting new subscribers, but I don't know. So my video posted on November 14th, so that was 2 weeks ago, and it's over 3,000 views, and that's a lot of views for my channel for 2 weeks. That's probably about it. You normally would take several months to get there.
I don't know about that, but no, I'm honest. Like, you put up a battle report and it would have 1,500 views in like 2 days. So
Yeah. But not 3,000.
that's 2 weeks, 2 days. We're missing the point here.
Anyway, yeah, my point is that it brings a lot of, I think, a more international audience to when you post on the Ninth Age. So what are things we could do to get new players in? I like the idea of writing a conversion from 8th, understanding the rules from that perspective. I like that. I really think that what we need to do as a community is we need to figure out how we can make this benefit store owners.
Yes.
So that store owners want to run escalation leagues and they want to do stuff. They want people playing Ninth Age there.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a store owner the other day, and it was a place that I had visited a couple times, and I asked them basically how things have been going with their fantasy Age of Sigmar models. And they said at the start it was a lot of people bought the models, and then it dropped off because what he's looking for is a game that is competitive that he could run tournaments with, and Age of Sigmar is not doing that for him. And I was like, well, this is perfect. But because it's not a company or whatever, or he's not pushing models with the game, he seemed a little bit hesitant to kind of go forward with that. But like, you can use the models he already sells.
But here's the issue, though. it used to be constrained to some extent to Games Workshop product, and I could stock it and I could sell it. Now it's, like I said in my video, any product. It could be historicals, it could be Kings of War, it could be Warhammer Fantasy, it could be something completely different. And as a store owner, it's very easy for me to say, there's Kings of War, there's the rules, they're free, these are the models that you can use, or here's Age of Sigmar, and pick up anything on that shelf and you can build it and use it. Versus, well, there's this game and it's free and it's community driven and it's competitive and it's great, but go to the forum and download the rules and read them, and then go to the forum and download the army book and read them, and then we don't even know what some models are going to be for some units, like Durendal Knights. Well, what could you use? Well, you could use Perry Miniatures. Oh no, I don't stock those. Well, you could use, some Kings of War thing, but it's not quite exactly the same. So as a store owner, the process of selling this without a tangible product line to assimilate with the rule set just makes it really difficult.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So one thing I've been pushing for a while, and it's in the works, is writing a simplified rule set. So I'm thinking like 6 pages, right? Something really easy to learn, even if it had to ignore the magic phase or something. Like, I'm not sure it's necessary, but even if it did, just simplify the rules so that somebody could start small, play 1,000, 1,500 point game, and provide with that sample army lists, and make the army list. What if you made that coincide with different battalion sets? So you had an army list that would fit a battalion set that Games Workshop sold, and another army list that would fit a battalion set that Kings of War sold. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as a store owner, you could say, here's the game, here's sample list. If you like this list, here's what you buy for it. It's one box set. It's right here. And so that, I think, would be a step in the right direction. So now the store owner has an incentive to have people playing the game, and if somebody wants to play, they can say, boom, here's what you do, here's what you buy, and here's how I benefit from it. And if he only sells Games Workshop, then maybe he pushes those lists that you can build using Games Workshop models, and vice versa with Kings of War.
Have they thought about putting together a list of recommended miniatures or recommended kits for certain units?
Yeah.
I think that would be really beneficial.
There's a forum on that.
But I mean, like something tangible, like in the army book in the back, recommend
like the last page has just a unit and then a bunch of links.
Something a little bit simpler. Once you say, well, there's a forum link for that. Apparently, there's a forum link to ask for universal battles as well. I haven't found it. I mean, again, you want to make it as effortless as possible. So to say, oh, go to the forum, sign up, dig through the forum, and find it. Every little barrier you put in the way is going to detract the percentage of people who are actually going to do it. So I think you got to make it easy. And I don't know if they put it somewhere on the page next to the unit, or if they put it in the back saying, we recommend, Fireforge Games makes knights, Kings of War makes these knights for Bretonnia, Games Workshop makes these as well. If you want to go the historical route, here's Perry Miniatures. I think a positive of the game that can sell it is the fact that there's so many model options out there. But if you have to ask people to go fishing, it's a negative. So I think you got to kind of serve up as much as you can on the silver platter.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But so there's 2 views on that. So one view is how can we make it easier for the new player, and that's I think something worth pursuing. But what I was talking about is how can we make it something that if you're a store owner, makes it easy for you and makes it easy for your walk-in customers. If
they have that list, the store owner can then look at it and identify what kind of product set they want to have. I don't expect the store owner to have Fireforge, Perry Miniatures, Games Workshop, and Mantic on the shelf.
Sure.
But they can pick one. So when the customer says, I want to play Kingdom of Equitaine, say, well, I stock this on my shelf, and this is the reason why. The store owner can give their spiel on whatever reason they chose this particular miniature. And then they can always follow it up, which is the most common thing. They usually go through vendors or suppliers and say, if you want something different, I can order it for you. But I stock Mantic's Knights because they're the proper scale, they have that fantasy theme, and they're very low cost per model, as opposed to a GW. I mean, I think that would really help. If I was a store owner and I could have the army books, and I could see what miniatures were recommended and aligned, I could align my sales, I could align what product I'm going to have on the shelf. It makes the offer a lot easier rather than having the open-ended, well, you can use any miniature. That's that's not a sale.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it'd be that difficult either, because if somebody knew the forums, they could go kind of scour them and put that together,
Do you
and it
think
wouldn't
that
be that hard.
is it working?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, stupid thing. Do you think that involves having feet on the ground though, and actually having people going to stores and pitching this idea?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe. The stores that I don't know that I'm worried about. The stores that I'm thinking about are ones that have players that might want to play there anyway, in which case your boots in the ground are the players themselves. If there's a store in the middle of somewhere where there's nobody playing it already, I don't think you're going to pick up players anyway, because what's that person going to do? Right? Somebody wants to start playing the game, there's nobody to play against.
Well, it could be that they just don't know about the game. Like if they might all have fantasy armies and just assume they're almost worthless because no one plays 8th edition or Age of Sigmar there. But if someone said, "Hey, there's this other fantasy game,"
the muscle to do that is quite difficult. I mean, if a Mantic or a Games Workshop wasn't penetrating that market with their advertising team and their marketing budget and all of that, you're asking for a very heavy expansion load. And I think the most important thing is you have your consumer base, which is anyone who played 8th, maybe anybody who plays of Age of Sigmar, maybe anybody who plays Kings of War. That's a target audience you have to go after. And if none of those three sets of players are already in the game store, the effort to get that started from nothing is well beyond anything that we could do.
but if we give the option of saying maybe making like a new news post with a mock-up ad that each person, if they wanted to, they could get it, they could print it, they could ask to post it inside of one of their game stores.
There is something being created for that. I don't know if it's I think it's a flyer. I don't think it's a poster.
Same flyer, poster, same crap, in my opinion.
Well, the issue is the game store doesn't necessarily want people there playing the game. The game store wants people there buying the miniatures. Like that's the number one thing. Is, are they there picking stuff up off the shelf? Not are people coming in with stuff they already own, using my stuff, and then leaving.
Compared to them not going to the store or at all.
I'd rather have somebody
and maybe get them to buy stuff. They might be selling pop in there that someone might buy a pop or something.
I'd rather have nobody come to my store than somebody come in, use my tables, tie up my space, and then leave. I know a couple of game store owners. I know that's an issue. You know, it becomes a community center, and you don't want that as a store owner. You want people to come and buy your stuff. You offer gaming space, but it's really for paying customers.
No, absolutely, and that's always been tough. Like, it always kind of frustrated me when people would play every week at a game store but buy other stuff online. It's like, you know, even if you got it cheaper, figure out how much more you would pay to buy it from that game store and consider that rent. You know. But I think any game store owner that just wants people to come in and buy stuff and leave and go play in their basement, I think that might be, I don't know if it's naive or risky. As a game store owner, I'd rather people play in my store and develop the relationship to where they want to buy from me.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. I'm talking about a market where you don't have anybody right now playing. I think the market for this game is Kings of War, Age of Sigmar players, and then 8th edition players who are no longer playing, or they're holding on to 8th. There's something to that extent.
No, I agree. I think actually I hear 40K players. 40K players. There's always been a certain segment of them that drift over the fantasy because there's something that 40K doesn't offer them. So I agree. I mean, I think you want people that are playing games already to switch over to this, and so how can you make that transition easier? But how do you even make it apparent to them? Like, how do you get them to even know that this is an option?
Yeah, something needs that free advertising that's not going to cost the Ninth Age anything.
Yeah, and I think one bias I have is I assume that comes from get people playing in the store. That way, when other people come in, there's a community there that they can join.
They'd see it and go, "What the hell game is that? You've got this miniatures and this miniatures."
You need to do almost the press ganger
Fantasy
route.
8th edition.
You need to almost go the press ganger henchman route. That weird and privateer go. I mean, there's nothing you can offer these people, though. So they're a henchman, so technically they become certified, they have a space on the forum, they have to run events. They get basically store credit to then go do their thing. Once Ben's happy about something.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've got a good wife. That's all I'm saying.
Whoa.
I'm blushing. Holy shit. All right. Whew.
So,
Anyway,
I mean, the issue with that is that we have nothing to offer those people. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to hop on forums, to try to pimp to a store owner. We're going to run an event. You have to get prize support for the event. You have to create scenarios. It's a shitload of work.
This whole thing's been a shitload of work.
I can't hear you again. I fucking Canadian.
Now?
yeah.
Do a lot of stores still have like Island of Blood and shit like that in stock? Like just sitting on the shelf?
Not that
No
I've seen.
idea.
Not that
I got
I've
you
seen.
here.
No, I haven't seen it. Island of Blood.
That was the starter set before the Age of Sigmar, right? Most recent 8th edition
Yeah.
one?
I wouldn't necessarily lean my crutch on that, though, because...
No, but if it's sitting in someone's stock, and if you can offer a store owner, like, here's a set of rules that are being supported, if it's going to sit on your shelf, instead you want to get it out, have someone play with it, have the rules printed out and readily available on a table.
They can still get that Island of Blood and use it for Age of Sigmar right now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. I mean, you create starter lists, and you create a starter list for Island of Blood, and you create a starter list for the Dwarf Kings of Mantic set. You know, like, you just create a bunch of starter lists so that game store owners can say, hey, this is what I stock. Here are starter lists you can use, and just buy this one set, or this set and this one extra box, or something like that.
Okay.
And I think, by the way, that the in the near future, that, and I'm agreeing with Anthony on this, is you don't try to pick up every store in the world. You try to pick up the stores where there are people playing Ninth Age in that area already, and you get those people, like, try to play in the stores and get something tangible for the guy to hang out. If it's one-page flyers, if it's something you laminate, if it's a poster, if it's, you know, I still like the idea of getting this the rule book as well as a shortened rule book, and you can pay these printing companies to print it up on demand. It's not even that expensive, and there can be something tangible. Hell, the game store owners, I think we're changing our intellectual property policies to where we don't, Ninth Age doesn't make money on it, but other people can make money on it, right? And
Yeah.
so what if we set it up with a printer to where a game store, if they wanted to sell army books, they could order it from the printer and just pay the printer for the cost, stock it, and sell it. Now, somebody could still buy it online, so I don't know if I would want to do that, but if somebody feels there's an advantage to something physical, fine, there's something physical.
I don't know if I'd necessarily go the pay route. I have a different perception on that, because you have to think about what the branding image of this entity is going to be, and the branding image has to be it's for gamers, by gamers, and it's a labor of love, and it's supposed to be free. And even though the people working on it aren't making anything, the perception that there's product being sold and money being exchanged is going to come back to the Ninth Age community, and immediately you're going to snap into that perception of, this is pay to play, this is pay to win. And even though it's not, I mean, that's the one big differentiator between this project and all other game companies out there, is that it's completely a labor of love. Nobody's making any money on this.
I think that's a great point. See, the problem is we need the game store owners to make money on it.
And I think they can with the product lists, and I think they can when they used to have a bunch of people who played Age of Sigmar and then found it was a shitty game, or played 8th edition and then it fell off, or played Kings of War but found for whatever reason it wasn't deep enough for them and they wanted more. That's the audience you go after that keeps going back to the well, and the game store owners will hopefully know when they got that initial surge of sales when Kings of War 2nd edition came out, when Age of Sigmar came out, and now it's flatlining and I've got product on the shelf and this is a big contingent of the miniatures I sell. How do I reinfuse into this area and get people playing again? And this is that product, but we got to put some fence posts up, and we got to give some guidance as to what miniatures. And I think we need to start building a little bit of a brand around what kind of miniatures are typically used. I don't want to completely fence it in, but I mean, you have to kind of give some parameters, I feel. Otherwise, you're right, the game store owners aren't going to touch it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's what we need to make it easier for game store owners to sell what's on their shelves.
Yeah.
Who was that? Was that you, Nick?
Yeah.
That's Nick's contribution for the last hour. He's like,
No, I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about the store near me that has so much 8th edition stuff on the wall it doesn't move.
Go put a
Have we
poster up,
determined that
Nick.
this game is best played at 2,500, 2,400 points?
I think so. Well,
It's
I don't
just
know.
such a hard
Yeah.
sell. It's so.
Well, I think it needs to be. Well, they have the warband rules. I think it needs to be. It's not just the size of the game. I think we need rule sets that you can learn in an hour, and game sizes that you can collect reasonably. Let's say 1,000 points, and it's still fun. And that's the gateway drug to the full game.
But I don't think the rules are predicated, as you said, on 1,000 points. Like that was the problem with fantasy. It was an all or nothing buy. That was Games Workshop's games. It's I got to plunk down 500 plus bucks and get a 2,500 point army, or any other investment is just going to be a shitty experience.
No, I agree. I think ultimately there needs to be that I keep calling a 6-page rule set that is written so that 1,000 point. It's 4,000 point games. And I don't.
It's not.
I don't
Yeah. It's not that it's the same rules as the current game. It's almost like a beginner version of the game that you can then go on to advanced mode later, which introduces all of the rules.
Yeah, and I think that it's not that the rules are different. It's just that there's only some rules included. There's a lot of rules ignored because you just try to make it where they don't matter.
Like adding in like 20 special rules over the army is not needed for a beginner game. You could have weapon skill 3 versus weapon skill 3. Go.
Yeah.
But you don't want to make it dull. You don't want to make it tire, right? I mean, that's Age of Sigmar then. If you make it flat, you're not selling the soul of the game, which is it's this deep game. This is the issue, Mantic. Kings of War competes with this on model count. They can use unit fillers. It can be one giant blob. It competes because it's only played at 1,000 points versus 2,500. It competes because it's easy to play, and it competes because it has that first product support line, which is going to get into the game stores. So you can't make it too much like Mantic, but at the same time, what sells Mantic is that easy pick up and play, and it's a lower level of depth, but it's a lower barrier to entry as well.
Actually, I think I hadn't really thought about this. I think that we want the basic rule set to be a lot like Mantic. It's fun enough to play. It's easy enough to learn. It's fun enough to play. And then what we're saying is
It leaves you wanting more. Like
it leaves you wanting more.
when you see there's not enough depth, and you say, "Oh well, you want more depth? Pick up the real rules."
But you're running a very fine line there. I mean, there has to be a real analysis on by someone people who know what does Kings of War offer, what differentiates us from Kings of War, and then how do we sell that to the community? Because the last thing we want to do is become a vessel for people who want to go play Kings of War. And if what we want is Kings of War, then let's all go play it and stop putting effort into this new entity. But I mean, that's you're going deep down the rabbit hole of like a full business project.
It's basically the exact same thing they did with turning 8th to 9th Age and turning Kings of War into 9th Age Light.
Yeah. Actually, I like that idea too. Remember you said the idea of videos about how to convert from 8th edition to 9th Age. I think ultimately you want videos on how to convert from Kings of War to 9th Age, because I think there's a lot of people who play Kings of War, in the United States anyway. I think in Europe it's different. But here in the United States, a lot of people playing Kings of War because that's just what they perceive their local crowds playing. And if we say, well, this is how the movement phase is different from Kings of War to 9th Age and
Sure.
Magic and everything else.
But it has to be a marketing video too. I mean, this is someone's establishing a game, they're enjoying a game. You're trying to rip them out of that game, and we all know how people feel about when someone tries to introduce a new game. And then say, go play our game, it's better. Go buy more miniatures, go play a non-first-party supported system. It's a very tough sell.
See, I don't think that's our market, though. I think if people are happy playing 9th, I think they should play 9th. I'm sorry. If people are happy playing Kings of War, I think they should play Kings of War, and I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying is we create a series of videos for people that are playing Kings of War and become dissatisfied with it, or they want to also break into the 9th Age game, or just any reason at all. But I'm just saying if that's where their experience, their knowledge base is from, we make the transition easier. I don't think we need to go on a campaign to try to steal people over that aren't looking already. It's like, no, if you're happy, stay there. Be happy. That's great.
In the same way that it was talking about like the proposed video of, well, this was what 8th was, this is what the 9th age is, this is why it's better. You do a similar thing with Kings of War. Kings of War handles it this way. That's fine. It's an easy way to do it. The way that 9th age does it, it's a little bit more in depth, and we think it's better because of this. Like you don't have to. Kings of War is stupid and you shouldn't play it. Kings of War is good, but if you want a little bit, try something different, you have this game as well.
Yeah.
And how do you deliver that video to people?
YouTube. That's how we deliver all our videos.
Yeah.
No, but you're not going to get that from a new market.
So, but who's gonna search on YouTube? I'm tired of Kings of War. What are my options?
Someone that's tired of Kings of War.
The issue is this content's being consumed by people who are already vested. Like that's the whole thing. People who are consuming this content are already in 9th Age or heavily looking at 9th Age. And I think until that phase 1 gets established where that core group becomes satisfied and the game becomes stable, it's really hard to talk about how we're going to expand out beyond that.
The Mantic War battle report scene like? Has anyone looked that up?
I was looking at a video right now that talked about why Kings of War is better than what GW did with 8th edition. Made it by a guy, and it's pretty good and got good traction on it. But I mean, Phase 2 expansion beyond this is going to be pretty tough. And I don't want to jump the gun too much as a community when we haven't even gotten version 1.0 out there. I mean, I think this is more almost of a 2017 initiative where we run a whole bunch of GTs in 2016 and everybody gets really happy and we kind of get a decent chunk of what we used to have because 2014 was the gaming year, I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think there's the primary market we need to go after, and that is, like you said, solidifying people that are on the verge now anyway. I mean, I don't know if, I mean, you probably don't, but there's a lot of comments on my channel where people say, this is really cool, I'm going to look into it, or I had heard about it, but now I really want to play it. And so those are the players that we need to get first. And then in the future, we need to put more emphasis on how do we get new people. But again, I see new people as ones that come to a game store, they see people playing, and they say, hey, I think I want to be a part of that too.
I think we need to get some kind of henchman program going, and again, it's just more of a program out of love than anything. I mean, I want more people to play this game. So if we offered scenario packets and kind of almost a box set of how to run a tournament, how to run a one-day, 3-game tournament. These are the missions you want to play. This is what what you want the boards to look like. These are the parameters you want to set, and just make it real easy. And I don't know if there's something we can do in terms of, I mean, there needs to be some type of prize support, but prize support doesn't need to be costly. I mean, if you can get your game store to your FLGS to kick in prize support based upon what people pay to play that day, awesome. But here's an alternative. I don't know if we do something on the forums where we give accolades to people who win tournaments. We do some kind of bracket system. I don't know if we do certificates that we give out. I don't know if there's like a printable trophy we can give somebody. I mean, we got to get innovative with this. If someone has a laser printer and we can crank out really cheap, something to go do that, I don't know what that is. That looks. Are you cooking meth?
It's a 3D printer.
Oh, it looks like a meth cooker.
Do you have a meth cooker that you know to compare it with?
No. I've watched those Nat Geo episodes. Look like a meth cooker. But I think that's where we need to get a little bit innovative and make it really easy. If someone was able to give that to me and say, hey, look, we tested this and it works. These are the missions that work well for your first tournament there. These are some of the, I mean, you're getting people who've never done this before to do it. So you kind of want to serve it up on a silver platter. This is how you want to sell it to your friendly local game store. This is what you want to follow up with. This is what you want to tell the people who are coming out to play. And do those kinds of things.
Yeah, you give them the players pack. You make it turnkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Well, we've already gone for an hour and a half, so we probably should start wrapping this up. Yeah. So, any final thoughts before we wrap up our first, hopefully monthly meeting of the YouTuber Warhammer or ex-Warhammer now Ninth Agers?
Warhammer Ninth Age YouTubers.
Ninth Age YouTube. That needs to be the new YouTube site.
Ninth Agers. I just put the playlist together, so I'll send that over to you guys, and then once bitten, if you wanna, I don't know how or where you want to put it on the Ninth Age website, but I'll leave that up to you.
Well, yeah. Let me see what you're even talking about first. Blogs are usually a good way.
Okay.
I'm gonna send my notepad to everybody. I wrote on the board and I wrote down all of our ideas. Look at how organized I am.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
I was hoping to be more like Tyler's, like, schematics that none of us could understand.
And they're not useful.
Sorry, that's all very simple stuff to Canadians. I'm sorry that's complicated.
We're Americans. So, all right. Well, hey, cool. All right. Well, we're going to close this down for tonight, and we will see everybody hopefully in the near future. Good night, all.
Good night.
Night.